Why is it that a single comment can weigh on your heart the entire day? Why can a disapproving look, a careless remark, or a minor setback make you question your worth? And why, with all the strength and potential within you, do you allow external forces to dictate how you feel inside? It's not because you're weak. It's simply because you haven't yet learned how to master yourself. You haven't yet learned how to walk through life like someone unshaken by storms, someone who remains unmoved, no matter what the world throws their way. This isn't about becoming numb or pretending to be strong. It's something greater, the power of controlled response. The strength of not letting emotions hijack your mind. The wisdom of letting your inner values lead instead of being driven by the chaos outside. Napoleon Hill once said, "The man who cannot control himself cannot control anything else." And that's perhaps the most profound truth anyone who seeks success must embrace. Because life, in all its relentless unpredictability, is not kind to those who are easily shaken. It favors those who stand firm in their center regardless of noise, criticism, or loss. Most people live in a state of constant reaction. They react to every insult. They react when misunderstood. They react to every disappointment, every unmet expectation. But reaction is the fastest way to give up control. And the more you react, the more you hand over your power to things that don't deserve it. On the other hand, there exists a rare kind of individual, calm, composed, unshaken. They don't respond to every attack. They don't rush to defend themselves. They don't allow external chaos to disrupt their internal clarity. And in that stillness, they radiate an invisible authority that commands attention without effort. When you walk into a room and don't need validation, you hold the highest power in that space. When you're criticized and feel no need to retaliate, you're operating from a higher level. And when you face failure and continue on, undeterred, you are revealing true strength. Calmness is not weakness. It is discipline. It is emotional mastery. It is the ability to choose what deserves your energy and what's merely background noise to be ignored. You can't control the world, but you can always control how you respond. And that's where real transformation begins. When you stop reacting to provocation, you reclaim your power. When you choose silence over conflict, you protect your peace. When you no longer allow others to push your emotional buttons, you prove that you've risen above the ordinary. Picture someone walking through life untouchable, not because they're emotionless but because they refuse to let emotion dictate their actions. They see reality clearly, without the filter of insecurity or ego. They act with intention, not impulse. They choose response over reaction, wisdom over pride. People like that are rare. But when you encounter them, you never forget them. They don't have to speak loudly to be heard. They don't compete, yet they always rise. They don't crave approval, yet they are respected by all. That power doesn't come from their background. It doesn't come from their wealth, their title, or even their talent. It comes from within, from their unshakable control over themselves. It comes from the daily practice of choosing stillness over chaos. And you can become that person. You don't need to become someone else. You just need to begin, today, with the simplest step: pause before reacting. Train yourself to observe your emotions. When someone angers you, pause. When you're misunderstood, breathe. When your pride wants to speak up just to be right, ask yourself, is this truly worth my energy? Or am I handing away my power again? Every time you choose not to react, you are building the walls of your inner fortress. Every time you choose composure, you are taking one step closer to true freedom. Freedom from being emotionally manipulated by life. Challenges are inevitable. But the difference between those who break and those who break through is not in what they face, it's in how they respond. Remember this: the most successful people didn't get there because life was easier for them. They got there because they refused to let emotions take the wheel. They didn't let fear, anger, or disappointment cloud their judgment. They mastered the mind, and with it, mastered their reality. A mind under control is a force no one can stop. A heart that isn't shaken by trivial things is a heart that endures. And a person who knows that nothing outside can disturb their inner peace, that is someone who has already won. So hold your head high. Walk through life as if nothing can bring you down, not because you're pretending to be strong but because you've decided to live by a different code. You no longer need to react. You no longer need to please. You no longer need to protect your ego every time someone says something you don't like. Because you know, your greatest power lies not in controlling others, but in making sure no one else controls you. And when you move through the world with that mindset, that nothing can disturb your core, you hold the key to everything: success, peace, respect, freedom. So from this moment on, choose to live as that person. The one the world cannot shake. The one who grows stronger through every storm. The one whose silence says more than any argument ever could. I am the master of myself, and because of that, I master life.